It's fair to say that the X99 platform is in its twilight, but it has many advantages in terms of price and performance, and if you already own a working X99 computer, there is a very good low price upgrade that you can get from AliExpress that will get some extra life out of the computer. While high-end X99 boards are prohibitively expensive and are now 6 or 7 years old, a number of Chinese board manufacturers have produced high-quality reliable X99 boards at very reasonable prices. This board is a Huanangji BD4. Combine this with Xeon CPU's prices having dropped sharply in the last few months, you can get some very big bang for your buck without breaking the bank. The Xeon model is an E5-2696 version 3, and at the time of making this video, are priced around the $100 Australian, from a number of CPU vendors at AliExpress. The E5-2696 version 3 is an unusual CPU for a number of reasons. It is not listed in the Intel archives, but by running the old CPU Z, it is recognized as an E5-2699 version 3. It appears to have been a special order to Intel, from the Chinese government for their server farms. Its operating frequency is specified as a base clock of 2.3 GHz and a maximum turbo speed of 3.6 GHz, but in testing the CPU in both a Gigabyte board and a Huanangji board, I cannot get it to run any slower than 2.6 GHz with all 18 cores running at near 100%, and both boards run its maximum turbo at 3.8 GHz, and at those frequencies, it outperforms every other E526 series CPU that I have tested. The Huanangji board with the E5-2696 version 3 produces very good results in both single-core and all 18 cores and is a pleasant and responsive computer to use. The identical CPU in the Gigabyte board is just a tad faster but falls within the margin of error between two CPUs. Minor differences in the chipset may also make minor differences, but the differences are very small. The Cinebench result shows the difference between 4 Xeon CPUs, and the higher core count E5-2696 version 3 clearly outperforms the other Xeon CPUs. It is also faster in the single-core comparisons. There is yet another advantage in using Xeon CPUs. 40 PCI Express lanes means you can use them for additional NVMe drives. This Huanangji board has a half-gig NVMe drive for Windows version 10 and two 1 GB additional NVMe drives for apps and utilities that need to load fast. They are Samsung Gen 3 NVMe drives that transfer data at about 3.5 GB a second. This computer is built as a workstation, rather than a gaming machine, but the 8GB Radeon RX 580, in its stock configuration, delivers very good 4K, 60 FPS video, and it does not reach the minimum temperature to turn the cooling fans on. The computer was not built as a show pony but as a workhorse, big storage, decent multi-core performance and surprisingly quiet to use. Without testing on games, it would perform reasonably, but for far more money for a faster CPU and big money for a high-end video card, you certainly could build a faster gaming machine if that is your target. As a workstation, you can thrash the guts out of it. Running on all 18 cores, it barely exceeds 50 degrees centigrade and can keep it up for long processing times. The only caveat here is decent water cooling to contain the CPU temperature. Hi, I'm Jack, a high-tech, text-to-speech voice, and I am your narrator for this video. I hope you get a good result if you upgrade your X99 computer and enjoy the extra performance you get. The video and sound are copyright Steve Hutchison, February 2023, and all rights are reserved. By the way, the pay for this job is lousy, and I have to spend most of my time asleep, in a development computer, unloved and unappreciated.